Okay, question 3 is all about refraction and refractive index. So a student is using a glass block and she wants to find the refractive index of a glass block. She sends light in at different angles, so we've got the angle of incidence here that's been sent in at, and measures the angle of incidence and then the angle of refraction here as well. This is her results table, but she's got some data missing. And you're being asked to fill in the missing parts. So you've got to work out the sine of angle R, okay, for angle 16 degrees and angle of 22 degrees. And the values you should get are 0.28 and 0.37. So on your calculator you should just be doing sine and then 16 equals, and you should get 0.28 out. Now you're then asked to draw a graph of sine I against sine R, and they've told you which axes you need to put it on. Now there's one mark for just labelling the axes, so sine I on this one and sine R down here. Now the next mark comes from a sensible scale, so I've just marked on here. Now you've got to make sure that you're going up in equal intervals. Sorry that mine's a bit messy. And then there are 2 marks for plotting your points. Now for any mistake you make, you lose a mark up to the 2 marks. So 2 marks available for points plotted, and for each one you lose, each incorrect you lose a mark. You then need to draw a best fit line. The best fit line should go through your 0, which is, you've got a point there anyway, and it should be a straight line, not joining the points, just a best fit. Now mine's going to be dreadful because I'm trying to draw it on a computer screen. Okay, you want a straight line. Mine's pretty bad because all of these points are on one side of it. What I'd like you to do is to make sure that yours is a best fit, so it's got a good scattering of the points above and below, and they should be pretty close. None of the points should be, very far from the line at all. And the final part of this is use the graph to find the refractive index of the glass. Now we know that refractive index n is equal to sine I over sine R. Now really, you could take any value from the table, put that in, and get a value for glass as 1.5. Now you're only going to get 1 mark for that because they've been very specific here and said use your graph. Okay. Now your sine I is your y variable, your sine R is your x variable. So what we really need to be doing is my change in y over change in x, which is the gradient of the graph. So if I go back to the graph up here, and I want to turn the graph into the biggest triangle that I can. Okay. This is my change in y, this is my change in x. Now once I've taken the values from there, put them into the equation, I should still get a value of 1.5 out. Now this is a better method because it takes into account all the points, not just a single one, which is what you'd be doing if you just took values from the table.